Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about 11 years of Dungeons and Dragons starter set history and in 7 words. All right. Okay, so one, I have spoken extensively about Dungeons and Dragons starter set right here on this channel. Probably, 20, 30, 40 videos just on Dungeons and Dragons starter sets, right? Fascinating topic. But today I want to talk about just the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition starter sets. We are now in year 11 of Dungeons and Dragons 5e, and in that time we have had 7 starter sets. 7 starter sets. Okay, so and I want to talk about all 11 years from 2014 to 2025, right? And I want to talk about it in 7 words, each word representing one of the 7. Um, uh, one of the 7 starter sets. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a mnemonic. DEP MSBW. Let's go. Okay. Fandelver. Okay. Essentials. Demigorgon. Morty. Stormwreck. Borderlands. And Welcome. All right, so let's look at those. Let's look individually at each one of those words. Okay, so Fandelver, Lost Mine of Fandelver. This thing came out in 2014. Okay, then the Essentials kit came out in 2019, and then Demigorgon. That was the Dungeons and Dragons Essential kit. That was full. That came out in 2019. Also in 2019 was the Demigorgon. The Stranger Things Thessala Hydra starter set. Okay, and it actually had a Demigorgon like miniature in it. I actually do I own all of these? Actually, let me keep going. All right, so the Stranger Things Thessala Hydra starter set also came out in 2019. So, so Essentials kit and the Stranger Things Thessala Hydra starter set both came out in 2019. Okay. Then the next one is Morty. This is the Dungeons and Dragons Rick and Morty starter set. Also came out in 2019. Okay, so 3 of them come out in 2019. One comes out in 2014. 3 of them come out in 2019. Okay. Then we shoot all the way to 2022, right? And this is Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, okay? And this one was a really brilliant starter set, and it featured all of the characters from the Dungeons and Dragons 1983 American Saturday morning cartoon. Really cool, very very cool. It's one of my actually I was gonna say one of my favorite starter sets. I love them all except the Rick and Morty starter set. I'm not a big fan of the Rick and Morty starter set, but I love all of these. Okay, so Stormwreck comes out in 2022. Okay, so at this point you got Fandelver, you got Essentials kit, you got Demigorgon, you got Morty, and so now we're at 5. Okay, and actually all of these are out now. Okay, but the next 2 are not out yet. They're going to be released this year. Okay. And so MS, and then let's talk about the B and the W. Heroes of the Borderland, okay, is on its way. It's gonna arrive literally this month. It's gonna drop this month. Okay. Then and so it's coming out in 2025. And then the last one is Welcome, and that is Welcome to the Hellfire Club. Okay. And that is another Stranger Things starter set. And it is coming out in October of 2025. Okay, so that is it. That is 11 years of Dungeons and Dragons 5e starter set, all explained in 7 words, right? Which I think is pretty cool. Very exciting. I will tell you, I love all of these. I think all of these. Actually, you know what? Do I love all of these? That's a good question. You know what? We'll do a different video on that. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll wrap it there. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.